Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Will-O-Wisp Woods. Now, as you can see, we've got a whole new look. We have a brand new look.
Oh, wow.
We've got a new overlay, we have new borders, we have new name tags. We have a whole lot of new. So welcome to the Will-O-Wisp Woods. We're happy to have you. Now, everybody can actually sit around the campfire and listen to the wisps and their stories. Also, thank you for the follow, that Cottagecore Witch. We're happy to have you here. We do hope that you'll stick around here in the woods. But we're back with the journey of Grandiasha once again. Now, sadly, I do regretfully have to say that our wonderful Clementine is going to be gone for a little bit. That's personal reasons. I will not disclose that on Twitch for their own preference, but she will be gone for a little while. However, she has said that our wonderful group can play, and our players are separated as is. Odile will be doing her own thing in the background, as our other three are lost in Flammenbroth. Well, two are lost. One is currently at home. Nonetheless, welcome, 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 welcome. I do hope that the music's not too loud. But, as I said, as you can see, we've got new borders. We have new backgrounds. We've got a whole lot of new. So, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Will-O-Wisp Woods. For episode 78 of the Journey of Grandiasha. Our wonderful border and little camera squares and the everything that you see here other than Wispy, the follow goal, little things like that. All of it is created by our wonderful artist, Kawaii Raver, in chat, so feel free to show her some love. But
beautiful.
Great. Absolutely great.
It is stunning.
It's so cool.
So, nonetheless, episode 78. Last we had left off, our wonderful players had managed to use the doorway that they had found in their home that allows them to teleport to different spaces that they've been through doors. Our wonderful players have taken the liberties of using said magic door and Dwendal has made his way home. Our wonderful group, of course, being the way they are, Nyla and Mei gave him maybe 15 minutes at most, and decided to see what Dwendal was wanting to hide from the others. Dwendal, of course, knows where he's going, and has already begun his journey back through Flammenbroth, the city under the mountain of dwarves. Mei and Nyla, however, are hoping to track him down. Of course, they are searching for a dwarf in a sea of dwarves, so we will see how this goes. Nonetheless, I am glad that you all are here. I'm glad that you all are coming along for the journey. Again, thank you for the follow, that cottage core witch. And our wonderful players. Fuck. Our wonderful players. Last we had left off, Dwendal, you had already begun making your way through the main thoroughfare. Mei had gotten sidetracked as she was trying to find her way towards Nyla, finding herself looking at all of the window shopping possibilities of armor and weaponry that Flammenbroth has to offer. And Nyla is attempting to track down a needle in a needle stack, following the guards and their circulations to try and find where Dwendal may have gone in this massive labyrinth of a city. And of course, our wonderful dwarf, knowing exactly where he's going, has made his way into the main portion of the city and is beginning his trek towards home. Nyla has stopped, or has at least gotten to the point where she sees a number of massive statues in a V formation towards a set of stairs that seem to be about 100 feet across in size, leading up to somewhere. However, who would like to go first?
Why don't we let Dwendal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
only makes sense.
What would Dwendal like to do as he's making his way back?
Hood's still up. He's now officially in the Noble District and or the Noble Quarter, and is slowly making his way to home.
Let's see. And you said the Noble Quarter? Common Quarter, Iron District, Noble Quarter. Here we go. And this is the ground level.
I'm thinking probably free for location. Will.
Alrighty.
Well, free 4, but actually 4. It's free 4 actually. This free 4 together.
Okay. It all is one large map. It's just a there we go. So all of it is connected, of course, but it is separated by floor. So each of the buildings may be 2-story, they may be 3-story. I think there's one that's 4. And again, for those that are just joining in, I take no credit for these maps. These maps are maps that I have been scouring for a very long time to try and well, fuck. There it is. Thank you, Hootie. We like the new look as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I take no credit for these maps. I have been holding these maps and using them for Flamen Broth for a very long time, just because of the fact that it is a very fun and very beautifully done map, as you all will see here in just a moment.
Oh, we can see it.
Our wonderful players get to see it, so our wonderful viewers get to see it as well.
Ooh, what a treat.
So, as I said, I take no credit for these maps. These maps are beautifully done by an artist that I found online. Their Patreon is in the corner of the map, for those that are curious. Milby's
Oh,
maps.
wow.
So please feel free to check them out. But the Noble Quarter, as Dwendal gets to see it for right now. Our wonderful, wonderful map here. So, Dwendal, you make your way to the Noble Quarter.
Which way am I coming through? Am I coming through the old quarter from the Great Hall?
You would be coming in from the Great Hall. The Old
Okay.
Quarter is connected to the Noble Quarter, but the Great Hall is what connects the Old Quarter to the Great Hall.
Right.
So, question.
Answer.
All underground?
Oh yeah, every bit of this.
Oh,
Everything is underground. That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
All of this.
dwarven strongholds, they're the best.
It is all under the massive mountain known as Flammenbroth. But this beautiful map is of the Noble Quarter, or at least the base floor of it. So, where would Dwendal like to go?
He's gonna be taking the. He's gonna be going around the main thoroughfare, the main garden, around there, and then going the back way along the ridge, the walkway right next to the waters, and go up that way.
Okay.
He's trying to avoid the some certain places.
Of course. You make your way through, and of course, you can see a number of people here that definitely belong here, at the very least. A few of the dwarves here have different sigils based on their family connections and their clan connections. The whole of Flammenbroth is made up of a number of different family clans to make the great Flammenbroth. Sometimes family clans intertwine through marriage or diplomatic bonds, basically, but for the most part, it's almost like nobility versus common folk. For the most part, though, every clan has both nobility and common folk. The nobles being the idea of the clan starters, descendants of the original clan family. These specific descendants, of course, are given a title, but for the most part, titles are earned by the common folk under the surname of each of their clans that they're connected to. For the most part, most dwarves don't have last names because that is a special space saved for when they have earned their clan name.
Earned mine.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Knows everywhere they've had to go.
now, where would Dwendal be going? Which building does he find himself going to?
He's gonna be going to the lower blacksmith portion of the main forge hall.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to go to the gate, and he's going to try and he's going to be going to one of the back entrances, hidden dwarf entrances, and his fingers crossed for who can possibly be there.
Mm.
Ugh.
So, you find yourself going... Let's see... And you said it was...
3 and 4. So right where your image is. So it's perfect.
3 and 4 right up there at the top.
Yeah, if you look in the
Yep.
player room image, I'm like, that's perfect.
3 and
house.
4. I wonder if I can zoom in a little better. There we go. 3 and 4. Now, 3 and 4 do happen to have upstairs, but you're going to one of these buildings here. Which one are you going to?
The main forge is in 4.
Okay. And you're going in there. Very interesting. So, make a perception check.
13 plus. One's gone. I think it's a +4 or +3. Yeah, +4, so 17.
Okay. So 17. You see at the main gate one guard to stand before the door, seemingly sitting on a small barrel, arms crossed, and it almost looks like he's asleep. As you get closer, you notice, however, a very thick, bushy, black beard that comes down to 2 long braids. A simple half helmet that wraps around just above his ear that comes slightly to a point, with one piece of metal that comes down almost in like a diamond or an upside down spade shape to cover his nose. And you can see a scar that goes from just under his left ear down his cheek.
Do I recognize this dwarf? Certainly hope so.
Dwendal recognizes most people. This dwarf, however, Dwendal would recognize as one of the personal guards to the Snow Rage family. He's well known for being seen as lazy because he does his job efficiently. He doesn't seem to spare extra energy towards anything that's really unnecessary. And for the most part, he's relatively well known among the Snow Ragers just because of the fact that he is so efficient at his job. But
Lazy Harold.
But Harold Snow Rage. One of the middle-aged dwarves that served the Snow Rage family.
Okay. Okay. And go back Edwards.
Let's see. Really, the only back entrance that you can think of is... Let's see. Because I don't think these buildings actually have back entrances. No, there is one. You would have to go through the waterfall.
Fine. Going to start going down the stairs, or hidden stairway on the side. It's not really hidden, but it's...
So keep in mind, the gray with the black outline, that's stone. That is where the mountain begins. Now, the water here, you know that there is a very small walkway along that that inner edge right there that's connected to the building. You know that there is a very small walkway.
Mm-hmm. No matter what, I cannot let Fortis find me.
So,
Or have Fortis know I'm here.
so you are going up that stairway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Going up the small stairway, you find yourself in the second layer, where as you get up, you can see that there is a platform. This is a small, almost balcony area, kind of overlooking the other buildings and the stone area and the water. And at this door, you notice that there is another Snow Rage guard. This one with a full face helm. And all you can see is the outline of the bottom of his beard as it comes out. It's very well rounded, very well trimmed. And it's a very beautiful, almost like ginger hazel color.
Right.
But
He's just, yeah, he's gonna just walk over. Just. How you doing? Just slowly take out the cloak. To reveal, guess who's home? This is where it can get bad or good.
mm-hmm.
This is looking as Mortis home or out. Oh, correction. Let me rephrase that because we're in the family. Is the chieftain home?
Highs or lows?
Low. I'm feeling pretty low today.
As you come up onto the balcony area, you notice that the guard that's standing is already at the ready as he reaches towards his waistband where his blade rests. And he watches you as you approach. And as you get within about 10 feet and begin to take off your cloak, you watch as this dwarf before you
Armor's obvious. Yeah.
You watch as this dwarf before you slowly begins to draw his blade.
And just takes off the cloak. Takes off helmet. Been a while.
And you can watch, you can see under the helm, the eyes are narrowed as they stare at you. What is Nyla doing?
I
Just
mean,
goes back.
still,
Dwendal's getting beat to the ground. Like,
still trying to find him.
Okay.
no, just put that thing away.
So, you find yourself in the Great Halls. We will open that in the browser. There we go. Now, Nyla, you had made your way in through here. This
Sorry,
is the...
I got an ad up right now, so I can't see it.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
might be a
place is
sec.
big.
I do
Okay.
also have, you sent me the copy as well, so if you want to let me know which building it is by
bottom
number.
left.
Yeah, no, this
left.
is Flaming Broth. It's great.
The Verger's Ward?
Yep, where that begins.
Okay, cool. Cool.
You find yourself in that path to the left, now looking out at the main thoroughfare, where you can see the statues in the formation of a V, and this beautiful garden of crystals and mushrooms.
Yes. Cool. I'm gonna follow the statues.
You're you're gonna follow the statues.
Uh-huh.
So, as you step forward and past these massive, beautifully designed stone behemoths of dwarves along the stone walls, you can now see just between that little gap between the statues and those massive stone statues against the wall, you can see a line of dwarves, each heavily armored, heavily armed, and standing about 5 feet from each other in a line, unmoving. But they stand there at the ready as people pass by. Some are stopping and actually looking up the stairs, and some are bowing their heads and pressing their knuckles together as they do. Some are simply walking by and trying to give a wide berth to the guards. But none of them are walking past the guards. None of them are walking beyond that line.
Okay. And the guards just aren't moving at all. Like, if I
Not at
wander around for a few minutes, nothing's changing.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It's kind of eerie. The most you see them do movement wise is blink.
Yeah.
And you can see an array of dwarves. Some have deep brown beards, others have coal black, some have gray. There is one that's actually a very strangely beautiful blonde color. But each of these dwarves are adorned in this gold, shimmering, solid armor, and each have a blade at their waistband, a hammer to the opposite side, and a halberd in hand.
Seeing that, just get to think, like, there's no way. And then continue towards... Wait, I came in from the...
Bottom left, the anvil
bottom
quarter.
left, yeah, okay. I'm gonna take a right and move more towards the middle of the city and try to get more bearings and idea of where he might be.
Okay. So, as you take this right and you go along that path, you find yourself walking alongside this enormous temple. This almost egregiously large building compared to the rest. A lot of the buildings here are very simple. They're efficient. They are well made, but they get the job done. This building is very obviously something more than just a home.
Yeah.
As you make your way by, you see another statue on the left side as you pass by another set of homes. Are you going up, or are you going to go straight across where the river is?
There's nothing that would give away anything, right? To where he might have gone. So should
I don't think he's
Or do
ever
I s-
really talked about flame and broth, really.
yeah,
No?
cool. So I'm gonna roll a d6 and make it random because it would be random.
Yeah, that direction looks good.
Exactly. We're still going off of vibes. She is going straight across.
She's going straight across. So
Yes.
as you make your way along the path towards the bridges, you find yourself now standing about 15 to 20 feet up above an underground river. And you can hear the sound of the rushing water as it simply flows through the stone, carving away at the ground and this wonderful, beautiful land that you find yourself in. And you can see a number of dwarves of different sizes, shapes, sexes, beard lengths, hairless, everything in between. You can see them wandering this great place, these beautiful stone pathways leading to so many different places. And of course, as you look down into the river, as you pass by, there are bioluminescent fish that make their home here, that you can see fluttering throughout the river. You have made your way across, and you've got a number of choices. You have the bridge that goes up, you have the path that leads back down, and you've got a path that goes straight across.
You said up, down, wait, where, which
So
bridge did I just cross?
you're at this first bridge, the first thick bridge towards
Yeah,
the
okay.
center. You
Makes
have
sense.
the bridge straight up, you have the path that leads straight, and you have the path that leads down.
Cool. I'm gonna roll another d6. I'm going down, apparently.
Okay. Retracing steps is never a bad thing. So, you make your way down, and you pass a couple of more of these wonderfully made buildings. And you find yourself at a four-way intersection.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nyla, looking down, you would have the bridge on your right, the path going straight, and the path going to your left.
Okay. At this point, she's just gonna, like, get a little bit distracted by all the architecture and stuff and just call out to Mei, like, hey, at what point should we just go back? I have no idea where I'm going right now. I think I'm running in circles at this point.
How far are we from one another?
Far enough.
Well, can we hear one another?
Nope.
I will. Oh no, we
It's more
can't?
than-
Oh
it's
well.
more than a mile?
Looks like you aren't getting a response there, buddy.
Bummer. Mei? Oh, he must have got lost too. Maybe I should go back. She's gonna start to retrace her steps and try to find Mei.
Okay. You begin making your way back. And because of the fact that you have an idea of where you came from, you actually can tell that taking that bridge will actually lead you back to the path that you had come from.
Mm-hmm.
So you make your way across, and it's a shortcut back to the path leading back towards what you don't know to be the Anvil Quarter.
Uh-huh.
Now, you do continue your walking. continue your walk. And I'm actually wrong. You just can't hear each other because the mental thing, if I'm not mistaken, can only go through so much feet of stone, lead, or aluminium,
sure.
if I'm not mistaken.
Let me check.
Most telepathy
it's not,
does.
It's not the same as. Yeah.
Yes. I'm not entirely sure. I've never had a soul knife.
I'll check for you.
Please do. Because I don't want to fuck you over.
Yeah.
Yes, Nyla is not a ranger.
No. He's
No,
not?
it doesn't it doesn't have any limitations on that. It's just within a mile.
Neat. And it looks like the map itself is based off of 5-foot squares in this area. So, you actually are able to.
Okay. So before she turned around, she would be able to still talk before she turned around?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then she'll still be in that, like, forward
Yes.
section.
Yeah,
What
no,
do you think?
I never moved. Yeah, come back. And May obviously
Have
not
you
in the same place.
moved at all?
No, not at all. Ooh, how much does this cost?
Ah, that makes sense. Chinese.
Oh
Should
shoot,
we-
sorry, Nyla. I meant to. I'm not far off.
Do you want me to still look for him? Or do you want me to come back?
Do you think he'll be okay? I mean, this is his home.
It is Dwendal's. Yeah, it is his home and it is
Yeah.
Dwendal's, so probably. I'm just curious at this point, you know?
I mean, what if we just stick near where the portal is and he'll come back to us?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, come
Also,
back.
you know, I want to turn with the portal.
Oh, where do you wish to go?
Nowhere important.
That's
We just have
very
things to
honorable.
do.
Okay, Nyla.
Yeah, okay. I can come back that way. I don't think I really have any sort of shot at finding him here. There's, like, really nothing to go on. Except sheer dumb luck.
Yeah, we can't always rely on that one. Yeah, I would just come back.
It's surprisingly useful at times, but yeah, it has its limits.
Okay. I'm just gonna stick here. Well, I didn't travel too far from where you
Okay.
left me.
Can you know, describe your surroundings so I can get back? Just make sure.
There's lots of shops everywhere.
Yeah?
Very stony.
Makes sense.
There's a lot of dwarves around.
That's really helpful. Any big landmarks nearby?
Are there any big landmarks nearby?
From what I remember, Dwendal, which building did you come in from again? 23? 23 was where it began. May has made her way after getting distracted. May finds herself at... let's see. We're gonna roll to find out.
It was
Wow.
probably 28 actually. I'm trying to find 23.
28. It was 28.
Yeah.
May has found her way down to 20. It's a building 20.
Nyla's gonna go back to the original building where the portal is and just start yelling, Marco!
Wait, where did we come from again? We came from...
28.
Yep, building 28. Towards the center.
Okay, yeah. should
Mei
probably just-
has wandered down.
Okay. Perception to here.
You know what? Sure. As Nyla
Probably at
is just
disadvantage, because I'm not paying attention.
as Nyla is just kind of yelling into the ether, and people of all kinds that are here. The dwarves mostly, the few select other races that are wandering about, also all just kind of looking as they walk by, just kind of like confused as to what Nyla's doing. This crazy person just suddenly yelling out in the middle of the street.
It's fine, don't worry about it. Which direction did you go?
We're underground, I don't really know. I went to the right.
Where did you start? I mean, I know you started at the portal, but did you take it right directly out of the portal?
I kind of looked around and then I went right.
You hear nothing for like a solid 5 minutes.
Nyla, did you get lost again?
Is there water nearby you?
Yes.
Go to the water and then tell me what you see.
May's gonna go and through the alleyways. She's gonna walk through the alleyways and kind of just stand awkwardly next to the thing after looking at one of the blacksmiths saying, I'll be right back.
Have you crossed any bridges yet?
No.
Good, that narrows it down. Have you gone up or down any steps?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm making my way to the water. I will hopefully see you in just a moment.
Now, as both of
Okay.
you get to the edge of the water, you do notice that there is a small guardrail, seemingly keeping people from just falling off on accident. But it is also a good place to kind of lean on, and as you look into the water, you see more beautiful fish, more beautiful bioluminescent fish. Some are larger than others, some glow, some do not. But you can see a number of living creatures in this water, just making home here.
Why do you leave? This place is quite amazing.
It is beautiful, but I don't think it's in a way that I would really like to live in. I prefer the open too much.
Me as well, but I mean, for a dwarf, this is like heaven.
It's true. Some truly amazing sights down here.
So, May, as you get to the water's edge, you, based off of where you are going to the water, you see on May's right a small water wheel. Well, small relative to the one on her left. there is a small island that holds up a water wheel that is turning rather slowly because of how large it is, but it is a beautifully crafted piece of machinery that slowly turns as the water's current pushes it. And you can hear machinery across the river in the building that it's attached to. However, on your left, you see a water wheel that is probably twice the size.
Oh my. Where the hell is Odile when we need her? Jeez.
What do you see?
The water wheels in the river. Much bigger than the ones at home.
Now, Nyla, having originally instructed Mei to go towards the top of the map, would have assumed that she would be more north and is staring at the entirely different water wheel at the top of the river right now.
Well, that depends. May didn't say that she saw water wheels rather than just one.
Did you say there was one wheel or two? I'm at a wheel.
There's one that's huge, and then there's one that's still huge, but less huge than the other.
I think I'm at the wrong water wheel. And then she'll make her way down. Wait
I'm just
there.
gonna start walking.
Don't
up
go
the...
anywhere. Stay.
Okay, I'm not going anywhere, and she's gonna walk up the. She's gonna walk. Yeah.
You're gonna
To
walk
the
up.
building that the other one. Yeah.
As you go
To
up,
get closer to the bigger one.
as you go up, you notice that the contraption that holds the water wheel is actually put in a space that's higher up, so that way the water wheel in its size can be larger and then take in more power that way, but also allows people to walk underneath it without causing any possible damage to themselves or the contraption.
I don't think I can make fun of him anymore for being a dwarf. This is stunning.
Things to make fun of him about. But yeah, it's a lot more impressive than it used to seem.
Yeah, I always knew that the dwarves were capable of so much, but seeing it like this, it's... And she's saying this in her head. Wouldn't dare say this
Yeah.
out loud.
Same.
That, like, I didn't expect this. And truth, I always knew they were impressive. Don't tell Dwendal I said that.
Oh, I won't. But you're right. It's more than I imagined. By kind of a lot. It's hard to comprehend just, that this was dug out by them. Maybe it was over centuries or even millennia, but still.
I mean, didn't Eddie say that this was here before?
Yeah, but I mean, at some point, this was at most a set of caverns, and now it's all this.
Right. Can't imagine that.
It's wild.
So Nyla's making her way down, and May, against better judgment, is making her way up?
Yeah.
Wonderful. You two will meet in the middle.
Beautiful.
So you two, as May goes up and as Nyla comes down, you two see each other across the way. And in the center is a small island of stone, connected by bridges, with a statue in the center made of gold.
Oh, wow.
With a number of benches around to view this statue, as well as just simply to rest, as you see a number of old dwarves that, though physically fit, walk with canes. Some are simply older women who are sitting and taking a rest. There is one with a seemingly much younger dwarf that's currently running around. But for the most part, this beautiful place, full of life, also has small respites like this.
Hey, you wanna, I mean, we can always wait here for Dwendal. We also can also talk in our head, so if you wanna, you know, catch up on anything, you can look at these really cool sights.
Yeah.
And no one has to hear it besides us.
That sounds okay. I suppose we can.
I mean, we don't have to talk, it's just really pretty. And we can if we want to.
I feel so supported, thank you. No, this is beautiful. Kinda just enjoy it till Dwindle gets back. And we eventually get in trouble for going through the portal when we weren't supposed to, but
He realizes the portal doesn't shut after he comes back through it.
interesting. But we'll figure that out when the time comes.
It'll be fine.
It's fine. What's the worst that can happen?
Finds a way to break the portal.
Mi casa is tu casa.
Exactly.
Forever.
I don't know if I could live down here forever, in all honesty. It's
I don't think I could either.
beautiful, but dark.
It's true.
No sun.
It's beautiful to visit and see where Dwindle comes from, but I wouldn't want to live here either.
In truth.
Maybe an occasional vacation, but I think that's about the extent of it.
I wonder who all knows him here. Like, it's just... We never
Yeah,
really think about this.
It's true, and I didn't really expect it to be so massive, so I kind of assumed that he knew everyone until I realized how many people there really are out here.
Didn't realize there were so many dwarves in the world. No wonder you can't find too many elsewhere. I mean, there are some, that's for sure, but... This is Dwarftopia.
It's true.
Also, did you see that hairless dwarf back there? I didn't know those existed. It was like a hairless
dwarf?
cat.
That sounds really eerie. You sure it was a dwarf?
I mean, it'd have to be.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different races down here. It could be something else, but it sounds just weird and wrong. Hope he's okay.
I hope so.
Neat.
So have you given Odile the book yet? Or wait, do it out of character. Did you? I don't remember if I was there for that or not.
The witch book?
The book that you risked yourself for?
Yeah, I did. Like immediately. I didn't even look at it first.
Oh, I wonder what it had in it.
I I suppose I do, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter to me. I'd like to hear what, you know, people's histories are, but that's not really why I did it. I guess that's what I mean.
No, understandable. Let's not go risking ourselves for information again, though, if you wouldn't
I'll
mind.
try, but like I said, it
Right.
wasn't really for the information.
Right, of course.
Obviously, I want to help my friends, but that kind of ended up being more of a coincidence than anything else.
So why did you make that deal then?
I don't know exactly, because it wasn't even a sure thing. I just got stunned, I guess.
I mean, making a deal with what could possibly be a fiend is stunning, I guess.
Yeah, but the thing is, he had information that I'm the only one left from my village, you know that. And I've never told even any of you my full name before, and yet he knew it. It
That throw
must mean
you
that he knows
off.
more,
He definitely
maybe,
does.
that maybe if I did this deal for him, I could do another, could learn more about what happened. And I know that's a terrible idea, don't get me wrong, but something
I
about
mean,
it just,
is it something that is worth it to you?
I don't know.
That
I
was
honestly,
that was scary, Nyla, and we don't even know if the Rakshas is here still. Like, he made it quite evident that he wasn't finished.
I don't think that the Rakshasa is still here. I don't think that it would have become my manner if the Rakshasa was still alive. He might be back. I think that's how fiends
Die.
work. But I don't think he's around right now.
But he will be. Things
It's
have a
true.
funny way of showing back up when you least want them to.
Yeah, I have no doubt that we're not finished with that chapter yet, but for now, we have a lot of other matters to take care of.
Right?
I'm trying not to dwell on it too much.
What is our next move, anyways? I mean, obviously we're here.
I don't even know. There's too many options right now, and I don't think we're really adequately prepared for any of them.
I don't think so. I think no matter what plan we have, it might fall short, but it's something that I'd willingly risk my life on. I mean,
Yeah,
we released a dragon for Shramata's sake.
true. But I can't help. There's a nagging feeling in the back of my head that we're missing something. It feels like it's all connected somehow, but I don't know how. Like there's just one puzzle piece missing, and it's gonna make sense of everything that's going on right now. The fact that we found the dragon in the same place where you all fought the Beastmaster, where we found a synthetic version of the pearl that Skia's twin wanted.
Do you think it's possible for the shadow for the Beastmaster to have put the dragon there? I mean, it could be out of the box, and obviously the dragon is older, and you can't really transport. But like, I can't imagine they would have had a dragon egg staying in there for thousands of years. It just doesn't make sense. It couldn't have
True,
been there unless it was placed there.
you have a point. Or maybe they were working together. It's still possible the whole thing's a coincidence. It just feels so... It feels like a far stretch. That so many things went down in the same place.
As coincidence as it could be, it doesn't feel right. Nothing about it feels right.
I agree with you on that. It doesn't sit well.
It's not.
And at what point are we responsible too? Because there are things that are connected. They connected themselves to me long before I'd met any of you.
I mean,
Is that the same for all of us, or is it just me, or again, is it all a coincidence? If so, how?
connection to it could purely be a coincidence, but that's assuming that, you know, Skia is, that just happened to have happened. But it doesn't make sense, especially if it's like, what was it, like his brother or something?
I don't know. I mean, I still assume. I also have a...
Have you
I still don't know that it's not the same person, you know? It seems like it is. It doesn't really make sense that it's not. But I don't really have proof either way.
Can Skia even have someone? Is Skia a person?
I have no idea. The longer the four of us spend on the road, the more I realize I have no idea what he is, how this whole thing works.
What do you know about Skia, Nyla?
Next to nothing, honestly. Everything we talked about was superficial.
I mean,
Anytime we talked about him, it was change in the conversation. He didn't like it.
what I mean is, like, how did he show up to you?
I got sick. Really, really sick. I don't think anyone thought I was gonna make it, but somewhere in there I started seeing these visions. Shadow Man on the wall, behind a chair, next to my parents. I thought it was fever dreams when I came out of it, but then it kept on showing up. Became more and more real over time.
It's definitely real, that's for sure.
Definitely.
When did it happen? After you started seeing him?
A year or two.
Did he ever talk to you before?
What do you mean?
Like, did he ever talk to you before,
We talked a lot, honestly. But like I said, it wasn't really anything deep. He did have a weird way of going back and forth between being comforting and being the most sinister force, trying to convince me to do horrible things, and it was weird. No, not more than I did beforehand. My dad was a prankster, and I could take after him in that regard. But I never followed through with the kind of stuff that Skia would tell me. If it was Skia.
What has he told you to do? Has he spoken ill since?
Not really. He's been more distant since, but also almost like a guardian in a way.
I'm a sick guardian, if you ask me.
Yeah, you can say that again. That's part of why it would make sense that it's not just him. Unless he is just that sick.
There's many, many creatures in this world that horrid monsters beyond imagine. Some made, some not, but this just tickles me the wrong way.
I agree. And it's like the more I learn, the less I know.
Right. Did Skia know about the blood gems?
I don't know. I hadn't heard about them until we met up that night.
Do
I
you think
assume.
maybe we should try to talk to them?
I've tried to talk to him. He clearly knows things that he won't share. I don't know why he won't share them, but he won't share them. Including
Right.
things that apparently went down in the ring. Apparently I told him to not tell me.
Hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine. Just, what does he want?
I wish I knew. It'd make this whole thing a lot easier.
It would. Quite.
Can we talk about you for a minute? I'm getting really self-conscious about all this talk about me.
Well, what do you want to know?
I feel like I don't know a whole lot about you, despite us being together for so long and trusting each other as much as we do. Where did you come from? How did you end up, in the same group as I am? What brought you here?
From a city called Som. Well, that's where I was raised. It's along the lake. I have many siblings, all brothers. They, interesting. I no longer, they're not really around anymore. And I just been traveling on my own since.
What made you start traveling?
There's so much world to see. So many nooks and,
So a thirst for
granted,
adventure, not escape, or maybe both.
there's always things to escape from. Poor life before, poor choices you run from, regret. But how I ended up here. I was actually going back when I met you.
So,
I was actually on my way to Bryant. There's a temple there of Shaitramadas. My dad, he was a cleric, quite high in things. He was trying to train to be a branch, and um, he didn't make it that far. But he lived his life with love, and I'm just trying to live in his footsteps.
sounds like a good man. And I think
He
you're
was
doing
wonderful.
good, for what that's worth.
He's gonna turn away from Nyla and just nod her head.
Hey, can I ask
What
you
do you
something that I don't think you're gonna particularly like me asking you?
I guess.
You remember that day when we were traveling? Everyone went into sort of a coma. Apparently saw horrible things. What did you see?
He like freezes and looks back around at Nyla. We all have regrets, Nyla. We all have things that haunt us, and sometimes the things that haunt us aren't as dead as they seem. And she's gonna turn back around and just stare out over the water.
Did you really want to leave?
Silent for a moment. Um, if I need to, I will. I'd prefer not to, though.
Why would you need to?
I mean, sometimes you have to run fast to outrun the rocks.
Why are you outrunning rocks?
Do you
What-
remember that? Do you remember when I met you? I threw the stone, and I was just so frustrated at the time. He wasn't talking to us, and I think of it like that.
That was a really impressive stone throw. I remember that.
I'm really good at throwing stones and apples,
Yeah,
apparently.
it's true. It's very true. I have one last question for you.
Shoot.
You have stuck by me despite knowing the things that haunt me and chase me and are a danger to all of us in this group. Would you let me do the same for you?
Don't know. How much of a danger it is.
The same could be said about me. And yet you don't want to leave because of my dangers.
You have a way of trying to turn actions and words, don't you?
Hey, it's only fair.
You know, I've never had too many. I've never had many friends, but you. I'm glad I can call you one of them.
And I you. It's been a long time since I had friends before you. Makes a difference.
You know, since your village.
Sorry, you cut out for someone. What did you say?
How long has it been since your village?
Hold that thought. Because I do not remember off the top of my head, but I do have it written down. It's been a few years. Not a few years for, an elf like you, but for whatever you are. Whatever all of you are. Y'all are really old.
Just a little bit.
In regards to how long I am expected to live and have lived so far, it's been a while.
That's all right. You're a half elf, right?
Yes.
I mean, you have a longer lifespan than a normal human.
Yeah, but not that much. I'm also not exactly that old to begin with.
No.
What?
No, you're not. Just a kid.
According to all y'all, I'm a baby.
That is our exact words, yes. Because you're just as cute as one.
That's not exactly something I would have expected to hear, but you know, fair enough. Weird that
Now, I caused my fair share of trouble, Nyla, but you? If I get blamed for more of your shenanigans, we're going to have a talk.
I'm surprised we haven't already had one, in all honesty, because you really do keep on taking the, fall for all the things that I get you into. All right, it's been about 7 years.
It's 7 years?
Yes.
Oh my, that's still very fresh. Do you? How do you hold on? Do you feel guilt over it?
Are you kidding? I'm the one person who survived in my village, and I, up until a couple of months ago, had no reason to believe that it wasn't my fault. Even now, I'm not entirely sure.
We don't choose if we live or die, Nyla. I mean,
Yes, but
unless you know,
I
but
was the one differing factor. A mysterious force that I believed to have wiped out my village chose me for some reason to not die.
you think it was Gia?
I don't know anymore.
Did it?
I always thought so. Maybe Skia possessed me and I wiped him out.
I don't think that's. I don't think he did. I don't. It just. I wouldn't think that. And even then, it's not your fault.
I think it less than I used to. The Sphinx did tell me that it wasn't my fault, and he's apparently all-knowing. But it still is hard to believe sometimes.
Yeah. That Sphinx. I wish I asked it more. I don't think I asked it anything, in truth.
Yeah, I think you were the only one who didn't ask, but to be fair, you were dealing with a couple of downed, pointy-eared friends. Sorry about that.
That's. It's alright. I mean, gotta redeem myself somehow. As the responsible one.
I feel
But
like you're the responsible one for keeping me out of a lot more trouble than I do get into. Imagine how much trouble I'd get into if you didn't keep me out of at least some of it.
I. Where do you think Dwendal went, anyways? I mean,
I have
why
no
did
idea.
you think he left in the first place? Like, when we found him,
I
he
don't
was
know. I had a solution for the problem, and he was just like, "Nah, see ya."
like. I meant, why'd he leave Lemon Broth?
Oh, that.
Like, he said he got lost, but Dwindle getting lost seems. It just doesn't make sense.
I could see him getting lost, but not to the degree that he would have ended up where he was, chasing a squirrel.
Right. Like, why was he out of Lemon Broth to begin with? I
Yeah.
mean, he's very prideful of the fact that he's from here, and obviously makes sense. It's beautiful here. But
Do you think he had a falling out of some kind?
maybe.
Or is he on a quest for something? But this place seems
Could
so
be on a quest.
self-sustaining.
Right. It does.
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe we should ask him when he gets back, if he ever gets back.
he doesn't come back.
I'm sure he will.
I mean,
It might be a while though. Maybe we should go back to the manor.
what reason would he have to come back? I mean, other than the trouble we've caused, but he can do more good here than he could helping us.
True. I don't know. I hope he does. But I also couldn't exactly blame him if he didn't. They are kind of a handful. And this place is gorgeous.
That it is. I hope he doesn't get too mad that we followed.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, it's the worst. I mean, we have yet to cause any trouble.
Yeah, we really have, a perfect track record with him.
Oh, speaking of, is there any way we can go back into the shop? The shops?
Yeah?
Like, I
Sure.
really need some armor, and I've seen a couple different pieces, and oh my gosh. I
Yeah?
always knew, like, Dwendal was incredibly skilled. But
Yes, but if you disappear too far for too long, I'm gonna put you on a leash next time I find you.
can you blame me? This place is stunning.
It's true, but you apparently do not have a good enough sense of direction to be allowed free in a place like this where you can't even have the sun to, redirect you back to where you were.
The sun is the best way to track of where you've gone. Or the stars, but there's no stars here. So.
It's true. It's true. Alright, shall we let Dwendal have his time while we go and shop around for some armor? Sorry, we just went on like a hour and a half long RP sesh.
So patient, y'all.
Appreciate it.
I would rather you spend an hour and a half role-playing and feeling as though your characters are growing than spend 5 minutes with your character with you saying my character does this and me hoping that I can do something with it.
Fair.
Real,
But
yeah.
as Mei and Nyla wander back into the Anvil Quarter, looking at the shops, Dwendal finds himself face to face with a guard, sword drawn. Dwendal, this guard with this rounded ginger beard, ginger hazel, sword drawn as you uncover yourself. You expose yourself as Dwendal. And as you do, this guard seems less happy about a snow rage coming home and more standoffish.
Do I know this one or not?
Funny enough, this one looks familiar, but not in a I know this person way. It's more familiarity as in you've seen them in passing.
Great.
But this dwarf, as standoffish as he is, and what brings you back?
Man. A few matters. First, returning partial of the wealth Raven. It goes for a couple of the earnings. 2. Some of the finest craft and supplies. And free to explain things about what I've seen.
So you're trying to buy yourself back in.
I don't recall ever being kicked out.
Nobody kicked you out, but you sure fucking ran like where you were. Where have you been, Snow Rage?
I got lost. Completely dead serious, and he just looks ashamed. I got
Make a
lost in the
persuasion
forest.
check.
I got lost in the forest of life.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
That's a natural 1.
That
I
sounds
don't even
about
have
right.
to roll. I don't even have to roll. He's spanking nothing but the truth. I got lost in the forest of life. Ugh.
The dwarf kind of raises his blade. You get lost in the forest of life, and you just wander your way back, hoping to buy yourself back in. It sounds like an excuse for someone who's deserted. I'm sure that the chief will have something to say about it.
He just visibly shudders. I'm sure he has. Grandpa has many things to say. He just looks drained.
Drop your
Yes.
weapons.
Dusts it and just sits, accepting it all.
The dwarf grabs the hammer, sets it in his. He ties it to his waist with an extra belt loop area that he's got. He then motions for you to stand. He's in a meeting.
We can wait. We can wait. we can wait.
I'm sure that a lot more than just the chief wants to know why one of his dwarves have deserted. Getting lost in the forest of life. Let's go. And he kind of prods you with the sword as he takes the rest of the weapons and places them in their own little spaces on his waistband. And
He's got a full belt now.
he's prodding you along the path back towards the great halls. And as you make your way back, a lot more people are staring. A lot more people are watching. And you feel a whole lot more eyes on you. Now keep in mind, this is happening as Mei and Nyla are talking. And Dwendal, you are led back to the Great Halls. Not quickly, of course, but you are
Great
led
halls?
back.
Oh crap! Oh no. We left the establishment?
You have left the noble quarters
Oh shit.
as he is prodding you back towards the Great Halls.
And you don't stab me in the back, man. We've known each other for.
I'll stop stabbing you in the back when you actually come up with a good excuse for stabbing the clan in the back.
I didn't
Now get moving.
I can't deny that. I'm obsessed.
And As you're led back, as I said, you see a lot more eyes on you now. And you have a lot of whispers going on about you.
Yeah, unrecognized person. Fantastic.
Now, it doesn't take long for word to spread like wildfire in a city completely cut off from the rest of the world. So gossip spreads. Nyla and Mei, as you're out and about, window shopping, you're finding your way about.
Make sure I get my armor before we do this. Sorry, ignore me.
As you're wandering about, it does take time for word to spread, though not long. You both start to hear whispers. The deserter's back. He's back? Yeah, the Snow Rager is back. The deserter? He's returned. Why is he back? What is he doing here? Little whispers. Until you both finally hear a familiar name. You're telling me Dwendal's back?
No. Maybe he does need our help.
And you see a number of dwarves now making their way towards the Great Halls. Well, you don't know it as the Great Halls, but you do see a number of dwarves making their way towards one of the massive archways.
We should consider following.
Follow. Let's follow.
Yeah, let's figure out how this is going. Can I try to perceive some more details of what's going down, or are there more details?
It doesn't take much as you're making your way back. You actually find yourself following the path that you had taken previously following that guard. And you find your way into what you all see as, well, Mei now sees as this beautiful, beautiful, grandiose space.
As they're passing by, she's also just gonna like elbow Mei. See, these are the stairs I was talking about.
You both make your way forward, and as a group of dwarves are beginning to form, kind of whispering to each other, whispering amongst each other, Dwendal, after a very short period of time, you find yourself led back to the Great Halls, and you see, in the distance, the top of the temple. And as it gets closer, you see the 6 statues and the line of dwarven guard. Dwendal, you know these guards to be the Golden Guard, and a hodgepodge of dwarves that have been known to prove themselves in battle in more ways than one. And a promotion that seemingly was being whispered about to you. The possibility in the future.
Oh, that's good.
Mei and Nyla, being taller than dwarves, you kind of stand out, rather obviously, in all honesty, as you look over the heads of the sea of dwarves.
The outskirts.
Does he see
Like
that?
trying to stay.
I hope not.
It's hard to miss them, as they are 2 of very few tall people here.
It just
And,
goes from acceptance discussions to abstract horror. His coming, yeah, it's kind of bad apparently. 2 people, he let 2 people in. Oh, Oh. He just...
And you react
Sinks
this
even
way
lower.
very obviously.
No. No.
Roll
No.
deception.
Please no.
Then
No. How would... What? I mean, wait. I mean, how hard are they to not to miss, right? Come on. I
May
only
is
have...
almost 6 feet tall.
I mean, he's totally not looking at the royal guard this entire time, not looking around, and totally not looking at his feet. Totally.
Definitely.
Definitely not.
Well, Mei is almost 6 foot tall, and Nyla is
Couple
5'10",
inch. 5'8".
5'8",
Yeah.
No, I'm the same
which
height
is
as Nyla. Actually.
still,
I forgot.
which is still
Yeah.
at least a foot taller than the tallest mountain dwarf.
Yeah.
So it's not difficult to see them. Mei and Nyla see Dwendal, now escorted by not just one guard prodding him forward, but about 4 that have kind of joined in to make sure that he keeps going forward.
I mean, he's not stopping anybody. He's done it before, and he's doing what
Well,
guards would personally really like prisoners to do. He's like, oh,
May's
I've
gonna
always...
turn to one of the dwarves around, and she's gonna be like, "So what are they gonna do to him, anyways? He's a deserter, right?" Sorry,
so
I'm nosy.
also line of sight. I'm casting psionic, psionic power, whisper, whatever, again for 6 hours, with Dwendal and May.
Okay.
Are you good
Yeah,
up
The
there?
dwarf that Mei asks, though a little off-put by the fact that you're here in the Great Halls, but not exactly, not exactly estranged to the idea that there are a few people that end up coming in. The dwarf kind of looks up at Mei and shrugs and, well, I suppose that's up to his chieftain to decide. He's said to have deserted his post.
It's a fairly severe thing, isn't it?
A death sentence, usually.
See what his chieftain says.
The
Thank you.
dwarf kind of looks at Mei a little confused, then looks back to Dwendal and just kind of like side glances at Mei every now and then, but continues watching as Dwendal is led ahead.
God.
Yeah,
And-
rip his head off. Sorry, that was out of character.
Dwendal hears inside his head, "Do you need us to come and bust you out?"
I can't. And just thinking about Nyla, I guess, apparently.
Do you need help?
It just keeps walking.
Now, new to Nyla, as Dwendal continues forward and finally reaches the steps, the 2 massive statues made of stone on either side of this stairway, the line that stands of golden armored dwarves moves.
He waits for them
The
to
2
fully
center dwarves look to Dwendal, then turn to where they're facing each other, and each of the other dwarves begin to follow suit before slowly marching backwards as if a gate opening. Dwendal is then allowed forward, the only guard following the guard that had originally found him. However, the golden armored dwarves then begin to close once again, facing forward. The two in the center, however, then turn around and begin following Dwendal and the guard.
Did Nyla hear the thing about the execution?
It's not difficult to hear about. If Mei didn't ask, there's a few people asking, like, is he going to be executed? Is he going to die? Are they going to let him off? Are they going to see what's going on? Are they going to tell us what's going on? It seems Dwendal's family and Dwendal have quite a bit of a reputation here.
Sorry, what were you gonna say, May?
Get closer.
I agree. Should I go invisible and sneak past him?
You do that. They were talking in their heads, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
they're talking in their. You do that.
Can I hear
I
this?
have. I can cast.
No.
I can cast Dimension Door to get to him
Okay.
if need be.
Nah, Dwendal hears what I want him to hear. But
I
she's
can only do
gonna.
it once. But
Okay.
if it comes down to it,
I'll give you a signal. We got this up for 6 hours as long as we're not, going more than a mile.
I have a feeling this is gonna not last as long as 6 hours. But let's see
Yeah,
where
probably.
this. She's like getting a little panicked. Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna go in after him. I'll keep you updated. And she's gonna cast invisibility and try to sneak past the guards and follow
Well,
him into him.
before that, May is gonna drag you to like the side of like trying to push through like the
Okay.
walls, so nobody gets suspicious.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Our wonderful group, as Nyla begins to turn invisible, as Dwendal is led up, and as Mei attempts to watch what's going on. Dwendal, you are led up the stairs, this massive staircase, up to the one place Dwendal knows no one goes without permission, reason, or standing. Unbeknownst to Mei and Nyla, the High King's palace. Our wonderful dwarven friend, Dwendal, makes his way up the stairs, further and further, until finally, Dwendal is stopped before two grand golden doors. A statue on either side of them. And Nyla, you're able to follow him up these stairs to see the same thing. Two massive double doors made of solid gold.
Wait, from how far away is this from? Like the front, like where the guards are.
It's probably a good 40 feet.
That was like 100 something. The stairs are 40 feet across.
Yes, they are. The walkway up. Sorry, the walkway up is about 90 to 100 feet due to the stairs, but the walkway is about 40 feet wide. And our dwarven companion is stood before them. The two guards, clad in gold, seem to guards, clad in gold armor, then slam their halberds down against the stone, causing an echo. And this echo reverberates against the stone walls. The sound of the city getting further and further as Dwendal is led up the stairs.
Something happens. Tell me, and I will make a scene, and I will make sure.
I will.
I'll try to make a plan, please. If you let me know what you hear. I'm gonna try to make my way to the front as best as I can.
I'll keep you up to date, I promise.
Okay. Thank you.
We're not gonna let him get out of out of all of this that easily.
Never. It's not what friends do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
No. As the sound of metal against stone reverberates, the gold doors then begin to shake and shudder before they slowly open, with the sound of metal grinding against stone and the sound of chains slowly being pulled. The doors open, and inside is a beautiful, beautiful, polished stone flooring with the symbol of the High King's clan strewn about the floor as columns hold up the next floor.
As tradition, he just does a quick little bow. Never have I thought or dreamed. I had even nightmares that I would be led in like this. Honestly, I'd rather kill myself at this point.
Well, it's too bad you won't get the option. As far as you know, your chieftain may just make it so. If you're lucky. Keep moving.
Just box room.
Wispy plays. As Dwendal is led forward upon the polished stone flooring, where the grand symbol of the High King upon the floor finds itself beneath his feet. Each column has a guard in golden armor, watching as he steps by.
He's in full armor. Spiked armor.
Is Nyla able to keep up enough that she's able to use like the doors opening that other people are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Nyla is
Assuming
able
she
to.
makes it past the guards.
Yes, Nyla is able to thankfully slip past just enough to get within the walls.
Mhm.
And as Dwendal and Nyla make their way in, the guards watching from their column posts. A black cat with emerald green eyes making its way from one column to the other, up the stairs. Dwendal is led forward to the two statues of unfaced guards, shield in one arm, spear in the other. The spear in the center has between them is a set of doors. Two normal armored guards open those doors. Before a dwarf in robes with a very long, thick white beard and a bald head steps out. One of the advisors. He looks to Dwendal. He looks him up and down. My boy, I'm uncertain how to feel. I do hope you got a reasonable reason to have been gone. However, for now, I ask that you wait here until the council is over. Then, the king and the Snow Rage chieftain will decide what to do next.
As it rests in the stone.
As it rests in the stone. He then turns and he heads back through the doors before they are then slowly closed behind him by the two guards that then stand in front of either door, leaving Dwendal to stand there before them.
Pretty much just holds his arms out and fully lets them strip him of everything, armor wise. Or actually, he'd probably do it himself.
Will they give him that respect?
Takes a whole minute.
Nyla, you watch this small interaction between this older gentleman and Dwendal. And you watch as these strange golden armored guards seem to just be staring at him, almost entirely unblinking now as they watch him. Dwendal being able to doff his armor. As the doors close, the sound of the thoroughfare behind no longer audible.
Dwendal's gonna hear inside of his head, please don't give up. We need you.
Looks around. And she gets a different response than normal. If you are here, do not show yourself to me. I will give over everything. I will seize you and bring you to the king myself. This
I'll
is
do what I-
my price to pay. This is my mistake.
It's not, though. I'll do what I need to. For a friend who's been there for me since I've met him.
And I respect that. And what I ask in return is you respect my decision.
What is your decision?
As the clans decide, I swear my life with them both. That has never changed.
Did you know
My
this?
king is my law. My king is my inspiration. My chieftain, my wisdom, and my guidance.
Do you know this
They
is
know
gonna
best.
happen?
No. At the same time, I had a small inkling of it could possibly happen. But desertion was something I never meant to do.
Do tell us. Out.
Hmm?
We would have done everything that we could to get you back home if we'd known this would be the price.
I had my code to follow. A debt paid. We had
What
a new
debt?
You gave me food when I needed it. And by honor decree, I must make sure that the debt is repaid.
That's why you
Yet
stayed.
Yes,
You stayed and risked this because we gave you a meal.
a dwarf is nothing without his honor. If I were to give it, it'd be in a sense of dying.
But to die over a meal. A single meal.
It is not a meal. It is a service. It is a kindness. And it was a gift. What
Exactly.
may seem so simple to you means so much in response.
You said it yourself, it was a gift, not a debt. Not worth this.
I would not fear or blame yourself for any of this. It was my
Think
own mistake. I myself had already spent days, or some time, I do not know, in that woods. I got lost. And that is the truth.
Why did you
Though
leave? In the first place, why did you leave?
I was on duty. I noticed something in the woods, and I investigated. The woods, the force of life, has a will of its own. It is a living thing, and something to be feared and respected. And it led me on a journey outside that I could never have dreamed of. I do not fear my death. Besides, if anything, this is what I'm meant to do. The kingdom needs to know, if they do not already. I will explain everything. And I will accept the price for the group on the world stage, if it is called for.
And what if I don't? You say a simple gift, like a meal, is worth the cost of your life in the long run. What if all of the debt that you've repaid back tenfold, what is that worth? To me, that's worth my life trying to protect yours. If that's what it comes to.
Gracious words. And I appreciate everyone.
You
This
know
is
I'm
what
gonna
we're
fight
here
for you.
Yes. I know you're gonna fight for me. I know you're gonna do something probably incredibly stupid that's gonna get you thrown into higher heights.
Probably.
And that's the thing I'm trying to stop you guys from doing. I am a guard. I've served for a very long time, for most of, if not my entire life. I erred. And erred, I must be punished. I will explain my situation, truthfully, as it is recalled. And I will leave the fight and the destiny to my king, as it always has been, and as it always will.
And if you do leave at us, I can't promise I won't show my face. It's important information.
And you better make sure you don't have your weapons drawn.
Most of my weapons are invisible anyway.
She gets the feeling of defensiveness and honor. And if you could feel a threat, you would feel a threat.
Mm.
You point a blade at my king or my chieftain. I do not want to tell you what I would do. Do you understand?
I do, but I
it-
make no
you-
promises if they pointed at you first.
Please don't make me hurt you.
And the doors open once again. As the doors open, 4 dwarves, older than Dwendal, older than a lot of the dwarves that we're seeing. Some larger physically, others frail and old. They walk by. And
Friday night is a slow day.
Dwendal,
She's gonna hear in her head. Please don't come in. I'm begging you. Don't come in here. I'm still bound by my code and my promises. Please don't.
Keep my distance, but I have to be in here. Do my best to not show my face. That's all I can promise.
and Dwendal is ushered in.
I am teetering between announcing, like, he is. This shows how much he cares. He is teetering, like, I can't. I'm letting somebody unapproved into the king's room. But friend, but. Mm.
As
The lawful
Dwendal
good it's being.
is ushered in, there is the older dwarf that Dwendal had spoken to a moment ago. the advisor and closest right hand to the king. A dwarf Dwendal knows well, as his tanned skin wrinkled and forge-touched, with a gray beard and gray hair, seems to look at him, tapping his fingers one at a time.
Well, he hasn't looked at the king or his grandpa. He's just head down, looking down as he hasn't been given permission yet to look at the king. So.
And as the doors shut behind Dwendal, Nyla slipping in, Nyla is the first to notice, as she is not accustomed to the dwarven cultures. These two older dwarves that sit at these tables here on either side of this grand podium in the middle, which behind sits a dwarf that is broad as he is tall, with 3 long braids, 2 on either side from where his smile lines come, and 1 directly down the middle of his beard, and the rest of his beard still laid behind these 3 braids, each of these braids having a gold ring holding this magnificent twist. Golden armor with a beautiful red silk cape connected to a golden mantle that wraps just around the collarbone and shoulders. Atop his head, a crown with 1 massive red gem in the center, shaped much like pointed on the top and bottom with the sides flat, and along each of the perfectly spaced little towers. At the base of them are different gems that shimmer in the brazier firelight. All 3 of these dwarves stare directly at Dwendal. Dwendal keeping his head down. And that is where we will end episode 78.
No, we're breaking my heart over here.
Me too.
I'm just like, what do I do? What does Dwendal do? Oh my gosh.
Oh my
An
gosh.
intruder has entered the throne room. Ah!
Dang, that's the closest I got to crying playing this game so far.
Our
Oh my
wonderful
gosh.
group now with a pretty heavy choice between 2 of the characters, and 1 character being forced a choice he may not be able to come back from. That ends today's episode of the journey of Grandiasha. I hope that you all enjoyed. I hope you all had an interesting time coming along with us on today's episode. We do hope that you'll join us again. And, of course, I do hope that you will join us after getting lost with the Will-O-Wisps to hear their stories again. Until that time, we will keep the campfire roaring for you so that you have somewhere to sit and listen to the stories. We hope to see you again next time here in the Will-O-Wisp Woods. Good night, everybody.